Okay guys, so I normally don't do a video back to back. I usually don't, but I saw Girl Trip and it was really good. You will laugh until you have tears coming down. It was pretty funny. um, but to me it's a reminder to not settle in relationships, not settle. I've known people who have a tendency towards verbal abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, where they never have any money. They just don't. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. And that's a bold-faced lie. They do have it, because one way that you'll know that they have it is when they want to do something that they want to do. All of a sudden, the money fell out of the sky and it landed right in their wallet. All of a sudden they have the money. So you know that when they're crying about money and they don't have it, that's a lie. And they're not smart enough to know that we picked up on it. And that doesn't have anything to do with what's in the movie, but don't settle. Okay, don't settle for garbage. Just don't do it. I've dealt with, everybody has their own quirk, so to speak, but I've dealt with people with anger issues, horrendous anger, comes out of nowhere. So when they start talking about their previous spouse or their previous girlfriend or their previous boyfriend or previous whoever and how awful they were, once in a while they'll say, well, I wasn't the best either. But that's glossing over the fact that they have a tendency towards passive aggressiveness or control. Like I said, I don't have the money, but then they have the money all of a sudden out of the clear blue sky when it's something that they want to do. They all of a sudden have the money. And I don't want to hear that you don't have money, because number one, you can find a way to come up with it miraculously. It's like a David Copperfield magic trick. You can all of a sudden come up with it when it's something you want. And back in the day when I almost got killed in a car accident, I had chronic back pain and I had 2 jobs. So don't freaking tell me about what you don't have. Alright? That's a bunch of crap. Anyway, yeah, I had 2 jobs and I had chronic pain. So I'm not trying to hear all that. And usually, a person who's a control freak, they like to whine and whine and whine. They don't really want to resolve the issue, because that would take away their whining and the payoff that comes with the whining. Whether it's someone feeling sorry for them, whether it's somebody treating them out to eat all the time so they don't have to spend their precious money, or there's a payoff. If there wasn't a payoff, you would find a way to resolve that problem. So there has to be some benefit that you're getting from it when you constantly complain. It might be just for attention or someone feeling sorry for you, whatever the case is. And some people they legitimately don't have money. Okay, they don't have it according to the day of the week it is, or the sun's out or the moon's out, or whatever the case is. So we have to be careful of settling. Make sure you don't settle. Make sure you get what you want and what you deserve out of life. And if you're having the same conversations with this person and nothing is resolving and their behavior is getting worse, there's your sign. I think that there are some people who are so far gone mentally, psychologically, so far gone that they can get better, but they don't want to. This is their whole identity. Being a monstrous, diabolical person has been their whole identity, their whole life. And if you take that away from them, who will they be? Because that's who they've become. Or maybe they've been that way their whole life, but they'll constantly blame Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Sue, the goldfish next door. Always going to blame somebody else. When in reality, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that's just who they are. So yeah, life is about not settling. You deserve to be happy. And when people have deep-rooted psychological issues and they're getting worse, chances of them getting better are probably slim to none. Unless they're tired of their own behavior and they want to get better because they're smart enough to realize that my behavior has not benefited in anything except for broken marriages, broken relationships. But how many people have that realization? You have a choice. You have two choices when you get older. You can become a better person, or you could get worse. And I've seen too much of the latter where people get worse. And they're okay with that. They're okay with that. And when you try to hold them responsible for their actions, that is when you get attacked verbally. You did this, you did that. 5 years ago on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, you said this. And I remember because the sun was out. Now, ironically, this one particular person, I know this person, everything that you say and everything that you do will be used against you. Some people you cannot emotionally trust. Okay? And this person I nicknamed the absent-minded professor because common sense just totally escapes him. He lost his credit cards and had to cancel them and all this other business. I said, well, how do you just lose credit cards? Because that didn't make any sense to me. That was just preposterous to me. How do you lose credit cards? Oh, I opened my wallet. Maybe it flew out. How do you open your wallet and your credit cards do a cartwheel out of your wallet? That doesn't make any sense to me. And eventually he did find them. They were under his bed at his house. And at one point he left the radio on in his car for over an hour, and the car wasn't running, and he couldn't figure out, he was baffled as to why the battery was dead. Because you sucked the juice out of it through the radio and the car wasn't running. You shouldn't have did that. Of course it's going to do that. So common sense is just, not a reality for him. Ironically, he can remember with crystal clarity what you said, what you did, when you said it, how you said it. Oh, his brain is real crisp on that. Oh, he remembers all of that. Common sense, no. Using what you say, putting it in a mental Rolodex so he can use it as a weapon, as a cream pie to shove in your face later. Yes. So that tells you that you can never emotionally trust that person. Because you confided in them, they put it in a mental Rolodex and they use it as a weapon to shove it in your face later, especially when you start holding them responsible for their own idiotic and irrational behavior. So you can't emotionally trust them. And you can't be with someone who you can't emotionally trust. You just can't. So yeah, no common sense, but crystal clarity when I need to verbally bash you because you're not accepting my horrible behavior. This person was sitting in a car. I was in the car. He's in the middle of the street. And he's looking at a business to see, he's sitting there in the middle of the street and he's staring at the business to see what their hours are. And I said, you can't stop in the middle of the road like that, which those words just went in one ear and out the other because I'm a woman and he has no respect for women, so your words mean nothing. And so he sat there because he's going to do what he wants to do. And then a car was behind him and saw him sitting there and beeped the horn because that's what normal people do. They don't allow you to just sit in the middle of the street because you think that the world revolves around you. Therefore, you do what you want when you want. So they beeped the horn, and he proceeded to go into a spaz attack. GD this, GD that, F this, F that. If I want to stop in the middle of the road, I will. I was stunned. I was completely shocked. Now, I'm still stunned. I think I'll always be stunned by that because I don't understand what is psychologically wrong with people. I honestly do not. And is there anyone normal out there? Jesus, just one person who's normal. You know what I'm saying? Just one. I'm not greedy. One. Thank God my friends don't act like that. Thank God my friends aren't like that. Anyway. Hours and hours and hours later, never came to the realization that that was out of line. Normal people, got to put that caveat in there, normal people will eventually realize that they were irrational. And they'll say, and I remember at one point I said, you know, you could get a person shot when you do something like that. You know, someone's in the car with you and you do something idiotic, or you're in the store or wherever you are and you do something idiotic, you can get yourself shot and killed and get the other person that's with you shot and killed. And most people would click in their mind like, wow, I don't want to die because I'm stupid. Did that click in that person's mind? No. Because that's how far out of his head he's going. That's how far he's losing his mind. Do you see that in the beginning with somebody? Of course not. They act like, I'm so mellow, I'm so easy to get along with, I'm very conversational, I listen very well, and I'm just great. I'm just a great person. God's impressed with me. And the reality is, they're faking. Now, thank God not all people fake, but a lot of people do fake. Chris Rock made the comment, when you meet someone, you're meeting their representative, and he's right. In a lot of cases, you're not meeting who they really are. I wish people would learn how to be more honest. But then some people are so flawed that if they were to be honest, that would be a problem, because people would be like, oh, I'm not signing up for that. No. You know what I mean? So you've got the emotional abuse, you've got the financial abuse. I can't afford it, unless it's something for me, then I can afford it. The person doesn't believe in dating you long term. No. He'll date you in the beginning for a couple months. And then all of a sudden he does an about face and says, well, I don't want to go there because they're too expensive. Now, mind you, the prices have not changed. They're the same prices they were in the beginning. But all of a sudden, it's too expensive. And then when he realized he sounded ludicrous about that, he resorted to, well, I don't like to pay people a tip. So when you resolve that issue, and you say, well, I'll pay my half or I'll pay the tip, well, I just don't want to go. Well, that's the truth. The person doesn't want to go anymore because they don't want to do what you want to do. They want to do what they want to do. So it's not an idea of money. It's an idea of control and domination. People do financially dominate or try to dominate other grown folks. And they're not intelligent enough to realize that when you paid to go to a professional baseball game, that was a hell of a lot more expensive than going to a restaurant, but you didn't mind paying that. Oh no, don't have any problem paying that. I don't know. I'm baffled. I'm stuttering because I just don't understand what in the hell is wrong with people nowadays. I just don't. The spaz attacks with no warning, getting angry at the drop of a hat. You know, and you have to be conscientious of who you are and what you're doing to other people. If you're a monster, let's just keep it real. If you're a monster and you're diabolical and you're passive aggressive, aren't you tired of yourself? How has that worked for you? So on one hand, you can't even go to a restaurant by yourself, which I have done it my whole life, and I will continue to do it whenever I can afford to do so. I bring my Cosmo magazine with me. I'm good. It's a guaranteed nice night. I don't have to argue with my magazine, fight, nitpick. I don't have to deal with financial abuse. I don't have to deal with verbal abuse. I don't have to deal with diabolical passive aggressiveness. It's me and Cosmo, and it doesn't get more simple than that. So it's a guaranteed good night. Anyway, so there's the financial abuse, and then there's the so the person really needs other people. Can't do anything alone. Can't go anywhere alone. Really needs to be with someone else. It's something psychological within this person that they can't function alone. However, because this individual is self-sabotaging, they will rain on their own parade every opportunity they have. They will fight with their ex-wife, or they will fight with the current girlfriend, or they will fight with any and everybody who's the opposite gender, just because I need you, but I hate you, and I resent you, but I need you, which is typical borderline personality. And I don't know if that's what this person has, but it definitely looks like it to me. Irrational, intense anger for no freaking reason, argumentative with everyone. Interpersonal relationships are destroyed because you don't have any sense. You don't know how to talk to people. You're irrational, and you don't understand that you're irrational. So yeah, this person, and they still do this behavior, by the way, because they think it works so well for them. They were with someone for 22 years, and 17 out of the 22 years, he decided he didn't want to have sex with her. So he's impotent, which a lot of men are. From the age of 40 and up, a lot of them are impotent. Usually that's connected to obesity. It could be from drinking and smoking and obesity combined. It could be cardiovascular related. It could be genetic. It could be a whole host of things as to why. It could be an issue with the prostate. I mean, there could be a multitude of issues. That's why you have to go to your doctor and find out what's going on. So he was impotent when he was married. Let's just keep it real. So you should take medication so that you can be intimate with your wife. What the hell was I thinking? I'm irrational, aren't I? Common sense, which isn't so common. But anyway, but whenever she didn't comply or she didn't obey him, he wanted to dominate her. Let's just keep it real. Will he admit that? Of course not. Did he try to dominate her financially? Yes. Did he try to dominate her sexually? Yes. And by dominate, I mean passive aggressiveness. I'm not going to take my pill for 17 years and I don't care. No sex for you. Who the hell do you think you're hurting, dummy? Because she rebelled and got a whole bunch of boyfriends outside of her marriage. I'll keep you because I like the extra income coming in. And I like this big house that we live in, but I'm going to get me a bunch of boyfriends. How you like that? Does he do the same behavior now with women, withdrawing and not taking his medication? You bet. So he hasn't learned a thing. So not only are you mentally disturbed, but you're not too swift either. You're not very bright either because you don't learn. The financial abuse that he did with her, which he'll never admit to, but it's obvious. I mean, anyone can see that. I'm pretty sure he did the same thing because I've witnessed it with my own eyes, him doing it to people even to this day. He would not, we can't afford this, we can't afford that. So she got 3 jobs. She got 3 jobs. And she decided, I'm going out of town as often as I see fit because this is my damn money. Do you really blame her? If you're going to sit here and act like you're her father, and you're going to put your fist down on a table, and we're not spending that kind of money because of this, that, and the other. She's like, okay, well, this is my damn money. How you like that? This is my freaking money. And I'm going to do what I want when I want. So, did she go about it wrong? Yes, she should have dumped him and then did her life. But she didn't. She stayed with him. She rebelled against the financial abuse and the sexual abuse, and she got it elsewhere. She made her own money, and she got her sexual pleasure from other people. Which, that's out of line to do that. And sometimes people rebel against you because they're tired of your crap. They are sick to death of your crap. And when you have been destructive to them psychologically, they don't always do rational things. But they're doing whatever they can to survive the situation of being with you, because being with you is awful. But she didn't want to walk away from that because she enjoyed the money coming in or whatever, or the big house or whatever it is that kept her there. I don't have any clue what kept her there for so long. Wow. But he does the same twisted behavior today, to this very day. Has spaz attacks all the time for no reason. And, you know, like I said before, will remember everything you did and said with perfect clarity. Doesn't have enough sense to make sure his credit cards don't cartwheel out of his wallet. Doesn't have enough sense to do that. But will remember with crystal clarity what you said, so I can use it as a weapon later. Can't wait to use it as a weapon. And then you wonder why people isolate from other people. And you wonder why they don't want to be bothered. Because the hell that they're signing up for is not worth it. It's just not worth it. So you got to be careful of who you're with. Don't rush to get married. Don't rush to have a serious relationship with somebody. Keep an eye on them. Watch them really closely. Watch their behavior over a span of, I'm going to say, between 3 and 6 months. But within 3 months, you should see cracks in the facade. You should see the mask slip. You should see slip-ups, which will always have endless excuses as to why that person's being an ass. Oh, I got stress at work, or I'm having problems with my family, or my mom's in the hospital. Whatever. We all have those problems. That doesn't give you a right to be a evil person. This is who you really are. So you find out the real person of who someone is when they're angry. You find out the real person of who they are on a day-to-day basis. Watch how they react to things. Watch if they have spaz attacks or rage attacks or they're stingy with money. You're not worth me courting. You're not worth me dating. You know, you're not worth all that. But you will be for about a month or two. And then after that, I'll just keep telling you I don't have the money. If you're that damn poor, don't date nobody. It's just that simple. Or take her to McDonald's because you can't afford nothing else. Okay? Do that. Take her for a Happy Meal. He ain't going to do that. But what was I thinking? I'm sure Happy Meal is too expensive. It's probably like $25. I mean, wow. People just really show their ugly, dirty soul. They really reveal that. And they're not ashamed to be who and what they are, which is even worse than being who and what you are, is the fact that you have no embarrassment about it. You have no shame about it. This is me and that's it. I'm going to dance the dance. You want me to dance in the beginning and pretend I'm a nice person. Male or female, doesn't matter. I'm going to pretend to be a nice person. Laugh at all your jokes. And I'm really a monster. So be careful. Be real careful. Watch people like a detective. Watch them closely. Because since there's so many people who are fake, you will see the real them. I say this all the time. You will see the real them come out. It's just a matter of time. You know? It's just a matter of time. And another thing is, if you don't see this person that often, let's say you see them once a week or once every 2 weeks or once every other month, depends on how, if you're long distance from each other, whatever the time frame is, you see them, and every time you see them, it's a volatile situation because they have no control over their emotions. That's bad. That's really, really bad. So who you see in the beginning is who they really are. And that's what you're signing up for. That is the monstrosity that you're signing up for. Because if you stay in a solid relationship with them, or you get engaged, or you get married, oh honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. The minute you say I do, you don't know what you just did. That's what that is. You don't know what you just did. Be careful. Watch people like a hawk. Be a detective. Watch them close. Ooh, child, watch them close. Because the best thing about and I've said this before, the best thing about being fake is people do reveal who they really are eventually. Because it's a lot of work, a lot of effort to be fake, a lot of energy to be fake. So the real them creeps through. You just have to believe what you're seeing, because that's what you're signing up for. Okay? Be careful. I love you guys. Watch people like a hawk. Don't settle for garbage. You know what you deserve out of life, and make sure that you get it. If a person can't deliver, cut them loose. Try to work it out with them. Try to get their hard head to go into counseling if they're just refusing, because the damage in their head just runs so deep into the fibers of their brain. You're going to have to cut your losses. Some people are, you know, a certain age, and they've been like that. They've been a loser their whole life. They're not going to change now. Unless they want to change. You know. And how many people want to change? They seem to enjoy their poison. It's pretty fun. Which is sick and twisted and demented. Anyway, I love you guys. Be careful. Be careful as you travel. Please go see the movie Girl Trip. You will love it. I'm not kidding. I laughed until I had tears coming down and I was gasping for air. Oh my God, it's funny. And I'm not going to say nothing else. I just want you to see it, okay? All right, so you guys, whoa, I'm dropping you over here. Have a good night. Take care.